Hi everyone, it is Jess here from the Scrappy Sisters, and thank you for joining me for a Kitaholic Kits design team layout. Now I am finally back to using the super cute floral side of the page, and I was actually just going to do a replica of the first layout of this month. If you haven't seen that, make sure you flick back through my videos and check out the first layout I did at the very start of the month. But then I decided to just take a gamble and rip my original triangle 2 more times to make 3 little triangles, because I was pretty sure that if I lay them out the correct way, I will be able to make them into a starburst. So I pulled out my trusty ruler, lined it up approximately where I wanted them to go, and I'm now just trying to figure out if I do have that correct, that if I can make this into a starburst, because I'm pretty sure I do have it right. But I'm not, maths is not my strong point, so I'm just double checking. And I discover that as long as I lay them out in the right place, I've got it. I did make a starburst. So I am so glad that I didn't ruin this paper and miss out on using that beautiful florals, because I am totally doing that. So I do pull out a different pink print shop stencil, one we got in a kit a month or 2 back, and I am using the lumberjack this time. This is the inks that we got in this month's kit. I do apologize for the crazy shaking desk, but that is what happens when you rub with your brush so hard through your stencil. Now, I started off by trying to create this burst of light in the direction that the starburst would be going, and it works pretty well. I'm pretty happy with the general feel of it, but I do mess it up a little bit down the track, and I'll tell you when that happens. But I want some parts to be a little bit darker than others, some parts to be a little bit lighter, and I'm pretty happy with the way this is looking. I am bearing in mind that I'm going to cover so much of it with that starburst and then with the photos that I really just want that pop of color, and I think the love heart is super cute. Then I pull out my grit paste, because as you know, I am obsessed. I really should have cleaned my stencil first. Because the grit paste is wet, it does make the ink kind of run. Look, it's kind of 50-50. It kind of dyes the grit paste in a bit of the red, which is cute, but if you mess up, it is so much more noticeable. So you can see that I've started off with these first 4 corners, lining up my stencil almost as closely as I possibly can. And then I decide, does it really matter? Like, surely you can't even tell that I'm lining up my stencil or not. Just throw the stencil on and who cares? That is where I mess up. Yes, it does matter, and yes, you, Jessica, will care, and you should have lined your stencil up properly. So these 2 side ones just end up being so messy and looking such like rubbish that I am not very happy about. And when it dries, I almost feel like it's worse, and I'm like, oh man, did I just mess up my whole layout? I didn't mess up my whole layout, but I am just going to change the way the starburst goes just a teeny tiny bit to make sure I'm covering those 2 on the side. So I'm starting with these 2 triangles on the side on purpose to cover where the majority of the mess is. Now I am going to cover a lot of the grit paste. Kind of can't be helped, because I wasn't 100% sure where the starbursts were going to be in the first place, and I kind of just had to guess where I was putting the grit paste. I could go back and do more grit paste, but I'm a little bit too lazy to do that, and so I'm just going to roll with the small amount that you can see is super cute. So I'm just going to roll with that. So as I did before, I'm roughed up each of the triangles with my scissors, distressed each of the triangles with my scissors, and then I'm going to go through with my sewing machine around all the way, all 3 sides of the triangles. I'll just do one with you on screen, but I do all of them. And I really love the way this looks. And I mentioned in my video last time that I leave my machine set up for paper, but if I am going to use my machine for material, I would swap out the needle, because sewing through paper really dulls that needle. So now that I've done them all, I'm just kind of rubbing with my fingernails to just scrunch up and distress those edges again, because of course they've been pushed flat going through the machine and underneath the foot. I then have these 2 super cute photos. One is just of Addie and one is of my boys and Addie. Oh my goodness, they are just obsessed with that beautiful girl. The poor thing. I hope she is going to be calm and patient and is able to put up with my boys, because oh my lord, they love her so much, which is gorgeous, but she's going to be like, get out of my face, as soon as she's old enough to be able to talk. But either way, she is the smiliest baby I think I've ever seen in my life. And she's going to go, of course, right in the middle of the starburst. One, because I like that look. I like the idea of the starburst radiating out from her, but also because I wasn't being super careful in the center and it's a bit messy and uneven, so I want to make sure that that is covered. I then pulled all the florally girly bits and pieces I could out of this kit. And I am going to use those all on this layout, because even though I absolutely put florals and love hearts and things like that on all of my boy layouts, it just worked so well for this layout. I was actually going to use the specific pieces of floral, like the floral clusters, but I decided I wanted to use the super cute ones of the flower in the glass jar instead, because I just really liked them. So I'm going to pile all 3 of them together just to make a little mini cluster, because I think that that's cute. Again, using some old thickers as my dimension. These thickers are better, I think, than the first ones I was using, because they are actually foam and they've got quite a bit of dimension to them. I have like 6 packs of these thickers and I'm not done with them, but I'm just pulling some of the like numbers and the hashtags and the things that I know I'm unlikely to use, and try and sort of like get the collection, because as I said, I've got about 4 packs of this exact style, get the collection down to just all the usable letters. Like I'm using up the Z's and things like that I just know aren't things that I'm going to reach for, but I'm absolutely not wasting the E's and things like that. I really ummed and ahed about this cluster that I'm putting here at the top of the page. I took it off, I took it on, I took it off, I took it on, and in the end I've just decided that, yep, I'm going to do it. I wasn't sure if the layout needed it. I think I could have just stopped right now and called this layout done, but I do decide to put it on. Does it ruin the layout? Absolutely not. Was it 100% necessary to the layout? Also probably not, but it's okay. It works. I like the sentiment that it says. I like that it's sort of circling. I kind of end up doing another starburst, almost like circling all the layout, all the photos, because of where I put my title as well. It sort of closes up the whole circle around the photos. I do also keep that sort of tealy green theme going. You can see that a lot of the embellishments I've used today are in that tealy green kind of colouring, so I stick with that with the thickers that I'm using as well. So I obviously have gold ones, but the mini ones that I'm using, as you know from the kit, they were double-sided, and I'm sticking with those teal and purple colours, but I'm using all the same. The A's and the S's are all in the same shade of that sort of lighter colour teal. Now that decision was chosen for me because I picked the one that had three A's in the same colour. But I deliberately chose to keep the same colour. Didn't have to. It would totally work with the mix of colours, but I just decided that was the look I wanted for this layout. Once I get the placement correct, it did take quite a bit of fiddling to really line everything up and have the placement correct for that title. I am going to go ahead and pop on some enamel dots and some splatters. I didn't really have a title or a story for this layout. Maybe you'll notice that we're wearing Christmas. It's actually November, but we got some professional photos done as a family for Christmas, and we just went to a playground to play after, because being still for photos is really hard work when you're little, and we wanted to go and let off some steam. So this is just my boys obsessing over Addie. So just as cute as a button. Is she as cute as a button? Yes. Are they being as cute as a button? Sure. Is the picture of all three of them together as cute as a button? They damn straight it is. So I just use that as my title. So yeah, now I'm, as I said, popping on some enamel dots, popping on some splatters, and then of course I will have the close-up photos, and you'll be able to see that grit paste a little bit better as well. I am currently obsessed with it, as you will know, because I've used it in quite a few of my layouts over the last 2 months. It is just super fun. It is subtle. I prefer it to texture paste. It's kind of see-through. I just love it. I think it's great. It's kind of like putting see-through sand on your layout. I love it. So, shaking up that bottle, trying not to make too many bubbles, but trying to mix up all the sediment that's set on the bottom. And let's get going here, people. So, of course, I'm using gold because that ties in with the thickers, and this layout is done. So thank you so much for joining me for layout number 4 for February. So this is my last February layout. When I come back to you in March, I will have the new kit. And I cannot wait to share with you all of my layouts again for the month of March. So thank you so much for watching. I have loved hanging out with you in February this month, and I will see you all next month.